Welcome to the Friday Nights. I'm Jason Sandbergs. As you can see, we've decorated for December. We've got this very Christmassy backdrop going. We are nothing if not professionals. Fellas, I had a fantastic day today. Went to the mailbox and look what I found. I found Aaron Lopresti's next installment of the Wraith of God book, and of course, I had to go. I had to go with the homage to Tomb of Dracula. So this is the Tomb of Dracula homage cover. I will give you a book report once I get done reading it. As you can tell, I'm under the weather a bit, so I should have time to do some reading. So I'm looking forward to that. That was the highlight of my day. And of course, as always, I'm working on Jupiter issue 2. Jupiter issue 1 is available in demand on Fund My Comic and Indiegogo. I'm chipping away in issue 2. Stay tuned for more news on that, and I'll share some artwork once I've got some stuff worthy of sharing. Craig, how was your week? Any squirrels in the chimney?
No squirrels in the chimney. Still waiting on my car to come out of the shop. But so for
Hold
my
up.
reading for
Hold. Seriously? Seriously?
they ordered the parts though for my
Nuts.
fuel injector and my
Nuts.
gas tank. But so this is what I've been breaking into. I started reading Thin Blue Line this week, and I mean I'm loving this book. Look at the interior pages.
Sweet.
I don't know if you had a chance to read Thin Blue Line.
I'm a huge Mike Barron fan, but I did not pick that one up.
And then behind my head, I don't know if you can see, I got my Cyber Frog action figure, my Heather Swain action figure back in there.
Nice.
So I got Cyber Frog, rocking and rolling. So yeah, that's my week. How's your week going, Chris?
Dude, it's doing pretty good. Check out the hole I got. I got Vigilante's Creed.
Nice.
The whole shebang. Like this, he hooked it up with so much stuff. Both novels, and they're humongous. Wow. They're like comic book size, and I mean they're like 200 about 250 pages a piece. I flipped through this, and it's all the pencils and ink.
Okay.
And I haven't gotten a chance to read everything. Really good card. I mean, obviously the Barton brothers, doing all the art, and the world's most giant bookmarks. These things are crazy.
You won't lose those on the couch cushions.
Yeah, right. So, anyways, I'm super excited. I have my first weekend off in the last 3 weeks, and I will spend it reading Vigilante's Creed.
Nice. Luke, how was your week?
Not bad. Busy. Getting a lot of work done. Trying to get a lot of work done. We got Chrome Dog in pre-press right now, getting ready to go off to print. Yeah, so good week.
Dude, I'm excited for Chrome Dog, man.
Oh, I got artwork to share. I don't know if anyone wants to see some of that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, dude.
But so welcoming first of all for our audience, if you don't know, Luke Stone's joining us, Joe Spicer's joining us with Starcross Comics, and thank you so much for joining us for this evening's Friday Nights.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
So yeah, here I got some new colors. So yeah, have a look at that bad boy right there. That's my
somebody lost that arm.
Yeah,
that's
a whole lot of violence going on. Mishatsu's got an entirely new armor set. So yeah, we're all the way up to 24 now, page 24 on colors. That's my interior slash. That's also probably going to be my cover for issue 5. Giving you a heads up, Luke. I'm probably going to put some trade dress on that.
Pretty.
This would make a dope NFT too.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. She just needs an oar.
That's right.
So 8 pages left.
Nice.
Yeah, I can't wait. I'm so excited.
Nice.
Issue 4 out. Would you like me to jump into the chat? And
yeah, actually, Joe, do you have any updates? How was your week before we? Because I hope you had a good Thanksgiving. Anything eventful this week on the creator front for you?
Yeah, I did. We had a Thanksgiving Day sale for Thanksgiving and Black Friday. We have a campaign like every month coming up. This month, next month. So it's like nuts. And then I'm trying to promote while working on 2 new projects, and it's like I love the creative process, but it's like when I have to pause to promote, I'd rather be creating.
Sure. Very
Yeah,
good.
I think a lot of people underestimate the promoting piece aspect of this. Like I thought same thing too. I just get the comic book out. Like what comes first,
yeah.
the chicken or the egg? But
Yeah.
realizing that you have to put just as much dedication into the promotion as you do into making.
Well, I always
the
tell
book.
people when a new movie comes out, you see all the actors doing their tour. So they're sitting there and someone's interviewing and asking them about the movie, and they don't want to be there. They want to go home. They're done with the movie and they're like, well,
They
you
gotta
know, the
sell it.
movie's like this. And, you know, I think they're under contract to tour and talk about the movie probably a million times, and they're probably sick of it, you know?
But yeah, that's how everybody hears about it. Like
Mhm.
it's all those interviews.
This is
So
our
Joe,
movie
when you
tour.
come on the Friday nights, are we more Conan or Leno or Letterman? What do you say?
Let's see. I stopped watching the late night guys. How about Gutfeld?
I'll
Yeah,
take
there you
that.
go.
I'll take that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is it Inside Edition that does that stuff too?
Maybe.
What?
I can't remember. Like
Luke
all
just
the
time
names.
traveled.
I did. Like, next, you're gonna hear me talking about Star Search.
Ed McMahon.
He said Ted
Craig,
Koppel.
Craig, I am your Ed McMahon. Yes, sir. Who's in the chat? Ha, ha.
Yeah. Hey now. Okay. So Crystal McGee is first one in the chat.
Nice.
Says hey, and hey to you as well. Thank you for joining us. Fritzy Schnitzel's here. He says cheers to all.
Fritzy's-
And again, thank you for joining us, Fritzy.
Yo, Fritz.
Vulcan Lives. I'm going to say Vulcan Lives is here. Good evening, all. Thank you for joining us, Vulcan Lives.
He lives.
Yes, Jack Knife's joining us. He says, "Let's go." He's our official Friday nights timekeeper.
Keep
Do
us
we
on
know
track,
if
Jack
Jack
Knife.
is a he?
I think it's a
That's
he. I think it's a he.
He hasn't jumped in and corrected me yet. So.
No, not his
You're
style.
right. You're right.
Soapy's here. Soapy says hello.
We got a Hojo.
Hojo.
Well, Hojo sighting.
Craig, we got a
Got a
Hojo.
Hojo sighting.
I heard that. I heard.
Kids, that was Hojo. Go back in Mythicals 2. That was Hojo and the Mythicals machine.
That's right. That's right.
Van Von Vin is joining us. Says hello, Jason. Let's see.
We got
Oh, nice.
pretty good
Speaking of Vigilantes Creed, Brent's joining us. B.A. Turner says hello, jabronis.
and we are jabronis.
That is true. Beard of Liberty's joining us. Says howdy, folks. Yeah, how's it going?
Beard of Liberty. That's what mine is.
There you
I like to
go.
think of myself more as a wanker than a jabroni.
Okay.
Mojo
that's fair.
achieved. There you go. So yes,
All right, we are getting into the holiday spirit here. It was a strange week coming off of Thanksgiving. I think it was a wacky week for news. Craig, what do we have for topics?
yeah. So even before I pull these up, we avoided the big ones that everyone else is talking about. Elon Musk getting all based with his billions of dollars, telling other people with money to, stick it to themselves. It's good for you as a multi-billionaire that you have the luxury to do that, as well as the Furiosa, the new Mad Max movie. The same buzz is coming out about that. We're not going to talk about that. And then the Doctor Who cares. I don't care. I haven't watched Doctor Who since the 80s.
Who cares? That was pretty good, Craig. I like
Yeah,
that.
thank
I like
you.
that one. That's
So
a good one. I give you an A plus.
thank you. I sat on that
Doctor
one
Who
for a couple days.
Doctor Who cares? I like that.
So for our topics this evening, our very first topic, this one I pulled off of LinkedIn. It's chopping down forests to prevent climate change. It might not be as crazy as it sounds. So essentially what they want to do is deforest in order to save the environment. And I don't know if anyone wants to run.
Go ahead, Chris.
Oh well,
You're tangentially in the agricultural industry, so why don't you go first on this
I
one?
guess. So this is how Australia was created. If you don't know, long time ago, Australia was lush with forest, and there was this giant lizard. It was like the largest living reptile that lived with humans, and it was like I guess it was hunting people or whatever. And sometime in Australia's ancient past, they cured climate change by burning down the entire continent, making it a desert, and killed the giant man-eating lizard. So
Folks, it's only 8:12 Central Time. Typically, Chris's gummy doesn't kick in this early, so we're in for a wild ride. Stay tuned. Buckle in. So here's the scoop. Here's what I found out, that when they take out the excess lumber out of the forest, whether for forest conservation or for industrial purposes, there's some segment of that that's not usable. Like they can't pulp it and they can't mulch it or whatever. So um, the nefarious Bill Gates has figured out a way to get taxpayer funds to take that stuff and bury it so that it doesn't break down and emit the carbon. And this pilot program, I think it's only a quarter million of our I think it's only a quarter million of our tax dollars are going to this pilot program to
Just-
basically
just a quarter million.
bury just a quarter million as a pilot program.
Well, that seems like a bargain.
I think this is the camel's nose under the tent. I think this is they will then eventually start saying we're going to preemptively cut down trees, or I'm going to cut down this tree, but you can't make a table out of it. You can't make a house out of it. I'm going to bury it to save the environment. Is that too far fetched for you, Luke, or do you think that's plausible?
No, that's not too far fetched at all. And then what you'll have is a shortage of lumber, which will cause prices to skyrocket.
well,
Didn't
you
we see
are the
that once already?
carbon that he wants to reduce.
Yes, that is the truth. I am the free thinking, critical thinking carbon that he wants out of the way.
Joe, is the most
Yep.
beautiful thing you can build, is the most beautiful part of a tree what you can build with it after you chop it down?
Right. It reminds me of the paper and plastic. First, they wanted everybody to have plastic bags so they wouldn't use up all the paper bags at the grocery stores. And then they switched. Then they said, oh, now you have to buy the paper bags or bring your own and don't use plastic. And like, you guys are the ones who said to buy plastic in the first place. And, if you want more trees, you cut down trees.
Use
and then plant
plastic because
more.
it'll last forever. We never have to replace it.
Yeah.
And then we just do that and buried that. And
Exactly. It's not photodegradable.
I had an argument with somebody. I told them that plastic is actually, comes from the earth because it comes from petroleum and oil. So it's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's
don't make it
earth-based
think too
product,
hard.
environmental.
Don't make it
If a
think too hard.
volcano can belch out like
Yeah.
all of the things that
Or cows.
yeah, and the earth is still here, and what.
I
Now,
didn't
if that
realize
super volcano goes off,
I didn't realize that trees were the problem with global warming. I thought it was cow flatulence, which I was doing
need
my
to kill all-
part to
If you-
eliminate that. I've since I've been awake from my nap, I have now been to the Brazilian steakhouse like 3 times.
Nice.
so
I've bitten the
your
bullet
part.
and I've done my part. I'm not a billionaire, but I've done my part to go and eat as much cow as I can to stop
yes,
to stop this terrible thing from happening. That in 2000 they said in 2013 that the world would be over.
I saw the
because
movie
of this.
2012, and I thought that was real. I thought it was a documentary.
Well, the Aztecs said it was done, right? And
Yeah.
Yeah, December 21st,
Yep.
2012.
It just shows they don't know much.
And that calendar, that Aztec calendar, was built on a piece of round wood.
Yes,
That they buried to
Mhm.
stop global
I
warming.
think you're connected.
It's
to
all
that.
connected.
I think you're connected. So
Craig,
the
go ahead,
planet
Chris.
can't. Oh, so the planet, like, I'm trying to get this environmentalist stuff straight.
It's hard to
because I don't-
keep up.
Right. So we don't want our planet to look like Coruscant, but we also don't want it to look like Endor.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I
because
think we
eventually
just
the
left
tree
everything
tumbles
alone.
down and it rots and the carbon goes back in the air.
Well, I think if we
But
just
if
left
it
everything
rots,
alone, it
if
would.
no one's around when it rots, does it rot?
It's
Craig-
it's all those beavers that
Yeah.
gnaw the trees down, and make dams.
Now we
Yeah.
have to kill the beavers.
What's
Yep.
going to happen to the
Kill the
beaver?
beavers.
We need
Nature's
to
in
go, we need to go
equilibrium.
smack as many beavers as we can.
Mhm.
Is this where I got to talk about the damage done by bald eagles?
Beaver
Probably.
backhands.
I think I speak for all the Friday Nights community when I say let's chop down trees, pulp them, and make more comic books.
Yeah.
Am I right?
This
Yes.
solution sounds like a couple of people got high and started thinking, well, what produces carbon? Let's make that go away. It is never a good idea to chop down trees unless you absolutely have to. They make the air we breathe.
Yeah.
These people are idiots. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Morons.
So I actually chopped down a bunch of trees in my yard, a lot of them, but they were
Now you're going to
smaller.
suffocate.
Yeah. Now we got no air. It's okay.
So
The
See,
whole
now-
church property, we had a bunch of
I burned tires in my backyard. That creates air, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what.
It's a
Oh,
Not the
thicker
good
air.
kind. Not the good
Yeah,
kind.
yeah,
it's a-
yeah, the black stuff.
Yeah, it's a thicker air. So it,
Yeah, it's
Look, I just
more
pour my-
nutrients. Yeah.
I just pour my motor oil right on the ground because it makes the dirt
Mhm.
more brown.
Well, that's
That's
where
what
it
I
came
heard.
It's
from.
better.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
it came from.
Yep.
So Craig, what's topic number 2 for this week? Hit us up.
Absolutely. So, topic number 2, right here, I pulled this from The Guardian. That's to support The Guardian. It's no surprise that middle class shoplifting is on the rise because no one ever checks my bags. So, as a result of all these automated checkouts where you just go up to the scanner and it's up to you to
K-pop.
decide, to scan your own groceries and if you need to purchase a bag or not, and do all that stuff while the people who are being employed by the store are standing around playing with their phones. I don't know if you've been experiencing that.
That happens in Canada too.
Yes.
All
Oh
right.
yes.
Okay. It's
So
an international problem.
so what they're noticing now is it's on the rise. Shoplifting, essentially, if you're gonna entrust me to do this myself, it's my obligation to make sure that I've done your job for you correctly. So
Joe Spicer, is this just, they say this is middle class, middle aged people shoplifting. Joe Spicer, is this just the Napster generation, the people that were 10 years old, Napster was out? Is this just the logical consequence of them being middle aged and feeling like they're entitled to take stuff?
So I just thought at first I thought they were talking about all the Walgreens and Walmart shoppers who just go in there with garbage bags and just start dumping stuff in and then just waltz out and nobody touches them or nobody stops them. I remember back in the day, if some 14-year-old took a pack of gum, you saw him crying on the bench while they were calling the cops and nobody even, it was like a big deal. Now you can rob the entire store and just walk right out. But I don't think that that's what this one's talking about.
No.
I think she's talking about that the middle class is walking out. Are they talking about, so you go to like say a grocery store and you go to the self-checkout and it's like you're scanning all your stuff. So if you're like,
Right. Yeah.
well, I only scanned 4 of these soups, but not the 5th one, like who
Yeah.
would even know?
That's what they're talking about. Yeah.
You've technically got the money, but you think
yeah,
they're
mhm.
overcharging you, so you're going to take some for free.
Yep.
Or you're such a good person, they kind of owe it to you.
I can see that happening. I always thought about it when my son's in the grocery cart and I'm like, no, we got to scan this one. I'm like, as if anybody would even know if we did or not. I scan them, but I'm just like,
I'm going to take this as payment for doing their job.
Dude,
I
that's
never
the thing.
justify it, but I do say, how easy it would be to just be like, I only scanned half my stuff.
So Chris Faction, middle class people who previously weren't shoplifting in this manner, they're now doing it, and this is a recent phenomenon. Would you think this is subliminally them trying to counter inflation while simultaneously voting for more inflation? Is that what's happening, Chris Faction?
I mean, I yeah, sure. I hope that's what they're actively thinking. As a person with a juvenile arrest record for shoplifting,
That's why you're on the show tonight.
that is why I'm on the show. I'm the subject matter expert. Little 14-year-old me, got to sit in the back of the police car and go get booked into juvenile hall for stealing. Does anybody remember the X-Men card game Overpower?
Yes.
Or I guess it was Marvel like in general. So I
You
had
went to juvie
75.
for stealing that?
I went to juvie for stealing $75 worth in
Whoa.
the 90s.
So Chris,
75
Whoa.
bucks.
so really, Chris Claremont started you on this path.
Yes, absolutely.
F you, Chris.
At
Not
least it
you,
was
Chris.
worth it.
Claremont.
Totally worth it.
Yeah. Yeah, because I could resell them at school.
Oh.
And I was like a freshman in high school,
Dang.
and I bust open the packs, pick out all the good cards, and sell them at school. And I was
Nice.
making
You're being
good
an
cash.
entrepreneur. Yeah, it's capitalism.
Right.
He's
So,
doing exactly what the government people are doing.
Yes.
Like
yes.
How is that different than Bill Gates? And we celebrate him. We just read an article about how,
You're right.
how
You're
smart
right.
he is.
And but I learned the error of my ways and raised my children to not do that. And thankfully, neither one of them have been to juvie.
Luke, do you think that subliminally these people are telling themselves, "I'm going to tax the store. I'm a citizen. I'm in charge. I'm going to tax the store." Is this maybe just a way for them to work out the concept of stealing via taxation?
Maybe because your taxation is theft
Amen.
because it is taken without consent. I did not consent to that. But okay, I think it's just probably more lazy and inefficiency than anything. I mean, how many people are like, yeah, F you Walmart, I'm taking an extra can of cream of mushroom. I don't think that's really happening. I think what's happening is they're trying to scan the crap while they're dealing with their kids and maybe they miss a few cans or something, you know. I mean, I know there's been I'm one of the rare people that'll do it, but I missed something. I didn't scan something under the cart, and so I take it back in. I pay for it, but I know people that they're like, F it, you know.
The Friday Nights disavows the soft on crime mentality and views expressed by our guest tonight. We are not soft on crime here. Craig, why is this happening now? What's happening where suddenly this is a phenomenon where middle class, middle aged people are shoplifting? What's changed?
Well, again, I'm a big for every action there's an opposite and equal reaction, and I find in society people are too quick to make changes without studying what the follow-on effects and what the consequences of those changes will be. So, I mean, you had the store cashier there. Part of their job was to make sure that you are paying for all their stuff. They used to even come around and do a cursory search on your cart, make sure that there was nothing underneath it, as you were talking about, Luke, and that everything had been scanned through. So the same thing when they had somebody shoving something in their pocket, you could get them. But now that it's up to you to make all the items go boop, boop, like I've had items I've like had to scan through 2, 3, 4 times. I mean, like, why am I working so hard to get the scan code on this thing to make the blip sound? Just chuck it in the bag. Screw it. Like I shouldn't be working like this as the
It's
customer.
like, I'm not in your loss prevention department. Screw you.
Yeah.
Joe Spicer.
Sorry.
Joe Spicer, by having such a low bar for shoplifting and basically criminality, are we through a Darwinian Darwinian conundrum going to breed dumber and dumber criminals?
Dumber and dumber. What was the last word?
Criminals?
Criminals.
By making it so easy to commit crimes, are we through natural selection
Because
gonna
they
be
don't have
making-
to be crafty anymore about it.
Oh my gosh.
It's
I just figured it out. I just had an apostrophe.
hit us, Chris.
Lightning. That's
Epiphany?
just struck my
It is.
brain. This is how they're doing it on purpose. They're going to make the dumber criminal, and then boom, all of a sudden, all the soft on crime is going to go away, and all the criminals are going to be stupid, and they'll just round them all up. And then there you go. El Salvador cleaned up.
Except for
Be
the
like
elected
Idiocracy.
criminals.
Yeah. Watering the plants with Gatorade.
I kind of see this going
Burying
full
the trees.
circle. So they want to do it eventually where, like, how the machine goes boop, 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 boop if you take something else that you didn't pay for?
Yeah.
They want to do it so that
happening.
you don't even have to scan your items. So you could just take them as you go out. The machine registers and automatically charges your bank account without you verifying anything. You just take it out. And then they are going to be the ones sneaking a couple extra things
You're
onto
getting
your
very,
receipt.
very close to some end time stuff there, buddy.
Yep.
You're going dangerously close to the weirdo
Yep.
religious territory. You gotta be careful. They're gonna label you.
Mhm.
Now, I think they do have this new thing where you actually sit your stuff under there and a camera looks at all of it and identifies it and tells you what the total is. I think, they're going to have to improve technology, but, Craig, you were right. They were so eager to save money by passing off checkout to the customers that they didn't realize how much money they would lose by inefficiency, stupidity, and then outright dishonesty. They didn't realize that. And now they're paying for it. And, the capitalist that I am, and there's a capitalist and an anarchist, Luke, that lives within me at all times. And so the capitalist is like, well, they should have known better. And the anarchist is like, yeah, screw those guys. They should have known better. Really, it was a dumb move on their part. That's, when you try to automate this stuff, it's one thing to have a robot sitting there with a gun saying you got to pay for that before you leave. It's another thing to have, an old man at the door checking your receipts and having, again, I go back to thinking this is the majority of the people that are shopping are moms who probably have their kids with them. And if you've ever tried to take your little brat kid shopping with you, you know exactly what I'm talking about. They won't shut up. They keep asking for everything. And all you want to do is you just want to try to get out of there. Get everything through the line, in the bag, back into the car, so they can listen to their freaking whatever it is they listen to, their Bluey or whatever the crap is, so that you can just get home, have a glass of wine, and chill out, right? That's all they want. And you're putting a lot of extra pressure on those customers. So why, I'm and again, it's not their job to make sure that your bottom line is good. That's not their job.
Right.
So, first, Jackknife had a comment. He said, "Did Chris just say I had an apostrophe?
Mm-hmm.
Is it from a movie?" Yes, from Hook, one of the greatest Robin Williams movies of all time. Oh, there you are, Peter. Yeah, come on, man. And this whole talking about Atlantis in here, I see what you guys are doing. And mentioning mermaids. Mermaids are an abomination.
Oh, don't get
You don't
me
need
started.
to be
That's
talking about no
bestiality.
mermaids.
That was angel and fishes getting together.
That's right.
It's the same thing as the Nephilim,
Abomination.
but with fish.
Official.
Somebody had a seafood fetish.
Nephilish.
Freak.
I don't like
Going
it.
to hell.
I don't like it. They're
It's
an
called
abomination
bestiality.
to the Lord God Almighty, and I will not have any mermaids in my house except for the little mermaid.
Very nice. From Arrow Comics.
Yes.
All right, Craig, what's topic number 3 for this week?
Sure. So I saw an article, saw a comment in there about what was it? Sports Illustrated got caught using AI to tell stories. That's not a unique thing. All the news agencies are doing that now. They're finding the AI rates better than the journalists they hired.
Yeah, and we might cover that next week with some examples.
Yeah.
So article number 3 pulled off ICV2, and I also noticed even though Nerd Bacon, if you don't know, Nerd Bacon is Luke's show on his channel, and that runs every Thursday morning. Do I got that right, Luke?
You certainly do.
Yeah, I believe it's also 9 a.m. Eastern.
9 a.m. Eastern.
Yes. So
9 a.m.
so Luke covered the same topic yesterday that we're covering here today from ICBT B2. Brian Hibbs of Comic Experience on Can Comics Be Saved? So it's almost as if they finally acknowledged that yes, in fact, the direct market is going down. These things aren't selling. We've been doing everything we can to hide the truth. We can't hide the truth anymore. We can't keep squirreling these books that nobody's buying away anymore. So.
And what's one of the reasons why I recommended this article is that this is a prominent retailer with clout who's saying these things. Now, previously, when other retailers would say this, even if they were had multiple stores, the usual suspects, Heidi McDonald and Rich Johnson, they would pile on, do gaslighting, accuse him of being racist and homophobic and all this other kind of stuff. He was able to publicly air his concerns and so forth without getting a pile on. So, Chris, do you think this is a break in the tide? Do you think this is the tide turning?
I was actually having this conversation with a coworker today. Like we were talking about this whole thing, and honestly, like just the headline itself, "Can comics be saved?" It's just saying, "Can Marvel and DC be saved?" Really, or Image and the major indies. That's not a thing. Um, but I, on the terms that they're playing on, no, like no, they can't. But direct market can still work. You just like one, you have an entire generation my age whose kids are teenagers or whatever. If the comic shop had something in it worth reading, then they'd be pulling stuff off the shelf. They're buying anime in droves because it's the only good storytelling in this market right now. As besides the indie stuff. But I mean, as far as like what's up on the shelf, yeah, man.
So, Craig, do you think the title of this article should be "Can local comic book shops be saved?" Because we know that comics are fine. What do you
Yeah.
think the real issue is?
Well, exactly, and that's what this comes down to. Is they seem to think that they're the be all end all for comics, right? You're absolutely right. This is mislabeled. Can the direct market, can that supply chain be saved? Is what they're asking. Because as we know, indie comics is booming. When I first decided I was going to start creating Soltac back in like 2018 was when I was really like, hey, there's a potential for here. Looking at the indie market back in even 2018 to now, 5 years later, it has exploded with creators coming out, independent books coming out, pros coming out of retirement and putting out their own books independently. So yeah, in that aspect, comics is not dying by any stretch of the imagination. This is a really good time to be somebody who wants to buy independent comics. Literally everything under the sun is out there. If you can dream it, if you can imagine it, somebody is creating it. So, and from that perspective, no, it's not dying. When it comes to walking into comic shops, well, perfect example, my local comic shop told me I'm no longer welcome. So even if I wanted to go to their store, they don't want me there. So that kind of says it all.
What's the short story of that?
Oh, so I went to a local comic convention and I'm minding my own business. I volunteered for them. I gave them 2 days of free labor. I ran their front door, ran their ticket sales, promoting their pops, went around and relieved artists, brought artists coffee, let them know when the food was there, gave people drives to the restaurant, doing everything I can for free, by the way.
Sure.
So one of the local comic store retailers realized I was posting videos and it was popping up on comicsgate.org. So realized I was with Comicsgate, and that was enough for all the lefties to say, you are no longer welcome here. Yeah.
Wow.
Not because of anything I did or said or offended, just simply because of who I'm affiliated with in independent comics. They said, you're not welcome.
So those of you youngsters in the audience, be advised, as you go through life, there's people who claim to be humanitarians that do not like people. And there's people who claim to be open-minded that do not like dissent. So be advised, you're welcome here. You can hang with us. But the people who run the industry are extremely closed-minded and extremely cliquish.
Yeah.
Van Von Vin hats pops.
So hates Funko Pops. Yeah, me too. Well, yeah, certainly too. You walk in these stores like GameStop and all the comic book shops, they got a wall of them.
Yeah,
like,
a wall.
Yeah.
More than aisles.
Any pop I've ever had, I did not buy for myself. Someone gave it to me as a present.
Yep.
And then it goes on eBay. So. But yeah, does anyone else have
my thing is like I see a lot of the pros or the very well-known creators or even Hollywood, like nothing against Keanu Reeves, he's cool, but like people who are well off, they don't need to crowdfund, they don't need to go on Indiegogo, Kickstarter, or crowd or fund my comic. But I mean, they're not indies, they're already legendary creators who can put anything out and it's going to sell like crazy.
Yeah.
I'm just saying a lot of Rob Liefeld did a Kickstarter or something. I don't even know if he fulfilled it, but
no, he hasn't.
He didn't. Right. So it's like that kind of stuff. it brings their troubles into our square, where we're trying to say, hey, we're different from those guys, and then they bring their troubles to our platform, and then now we look bad because of that. And it's like, I fulfill all my campaigns, all my books. I print everything I make. I don't spend, months working on something and then decide not to ever put it out. That would be stupid. I want to put out my books. So somebody who's already like a billionaire and then they don't put out their book, it's infuriating.
I'm just waiting my turn. Let me know when I can go.
You know what, Luke? Unleash.
Okay, so we talked about this in length on Thursday morning. This is one of 3 articles. One started by Greep, who is the head of ICV Squared, and is also a longtime distributor, who is talking about what needs to be done by the publishers to make the artist happy, because he's referencing Mark Miller's comments about what they need to do to bring back readers to the mainstream, the big 2, basically. And then there's a rebuttal by this gentleman here, Brian Hibbs, and then another rebuttal by the gentleman that owns Mile High Comics. And both of them are talking about what needs to be done to save comics for the direct market. These are direct market rebuttals. Well, the truth is, so all 3, Greep, Hibbs, and Mile High, all said that there's nothing that can save them. In fact, what's happening now is that the rising cost of comics and being able to bring in the right talent and everything is just it's creating a spiral that there's no way they're going to be able to come out of it. And that's only if the big studios that own those companies decide they even want to save the publishing wing for having it makes so little compared to the rest of the money that they make. These other people are saying no. So they talked about diversifying the local shop on what it needs to have on the shelves. And basically it gave no hope for the modern distribution model of the direct market for comic books. And I think that is true. Now, Craig, I'm going to just argue with you a little bit on one point. You said that indie comics is booming. It's technically in a slump right now. The numbers show that even all comics are in a slump, but that's normal for the market, especially this time of year. But comparatively speaking, even though you can't find collective numbers for everything, if you actually look at the things that are crowdfunding and that are being successful, they are making more money and are printing and selling more copies than even some DC runs.
Yep.
We know someone on the inside at DC. I can't let loose that information, but they said that some of their books that they're producing are selling pre-ordered in the sub 1000s, that they could easily just digital print these things to get them out there. And I know of at least 2 or 3 of the smaller mid-range publishers that they're printing digital print the same way that I do from some of the same resources and US-based printers that I use. So the direct market is absolutely failing. There's no way that it's going to turn around. But one of the problems that I'm seeing in independent comics is that too many people in indie comics are trying to copy the model of the failing direct market distribution that we see. They're not being creative. I don't know if many of you know this, but if you have 350 dedicated readers for your comic book, 350, no more than that, you don't have to go any higher. You could have a sustainable model for your series at 350 dedicated readers. That's all it would take.
Yep.
And most of us don't think that way. We're thinking we got to get into stores, we got to get here. Really, what you got to do is you got to find your market, no matter how niche it may be. And if you do that, you will be fine. Comics will always be around. They have always been around. They have made it through some really tough times, and they're going to make it through even more.
The
We will still make
Egyptians
comics.
had comics on their walls.
We will always have comic books. Comic books will be around. The manner in which we make them and the manner in which we distribute them will change, and it's going to be up to us to be those game changers. We're the ones that's going to have to figure it out, because they are so stuck in that other model, and they're so arrogant in thinking that their way is the only way, that there's really, it's going to take our creativity. And we're already seeing a lot of that. Like right now on my website, I've decided through the end of the year that all of my digital books are free. You just go over there and you put them in the cart. $0. I want you to read my books. I don't care if you pay me a dime. Go read
So
the
it's
books.
a self-checkout.
Just it's a self-checkout, but you get it for free. Yeah, it's basically like Walmart
Right.
because you can get all that for free too.
Oh
There
man,
you go. I'm done. Rant done.
dude, it was a good
Take
rant.
up an offering. Take
It
off.
was a good. That's right. That's right. Pass the plate.
Praise God.
Praise the
It's going to be up to
Lord.
you to make a difference in comics today. I heard the Lord say it was like a mighty wind. Oh wait, I'm sorry.
Wait.
That was just I had pizza for.
I don't know what self-checkout in the shower is.
Oh, I don't want to know.
I mean,
Just check
I ju-
yourself out.
dude, I just bought a bunch of new soap, so
I keep scanning it. Nothing's
in,
happening.
in hopes that one day we'll get sponsors. I want to shout out Public Square for facilitating good e-commerce, and I got some new soaps from from a company on Public Square, and they're great because I've been trying to get away from all the big companies, and do more support some smaller businesses and stuff. And I got a rum soap that is just I'm checking out myself in the shower.
Just like the example of 350 readers. Man, if you had 750, you'd make money. You'd have a good living. But just as that example, some of these smaller companies, 1,000 people buying their product, 500 people buying their product makes all the difference in the world.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
man.
dream for me is to be just sustainable. If I can just have enough people buy my comic that it pays for itself, I'll just keep going indefinitely. But that's my mentality.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
So are we good with this topic, or does anyone have anything else they want to?
I think this topic is going to keep popping its head up, but I think for tonight we are done. We are done.
One day it'll be like Blockbuster. There'll be like one comic shop left, and everybody will be like, "Oh my gosh,
Let's go and take our picture with it." Yeah.
Yeah, right.
They're not actually there to buy the comics. They're just there to get a picture in front of their
Just waiting for it to.
This is what a comic book used to look like.
Yeah, right.
Actually, I've had people like, I don't mean to plug myself here, but it's like I'm showing them like, hey, this is my comic. Like, holy smokes, that looks like a real comic book. It's
Oh.
like, 'cause
A real
Yeah, no
comic.
kidding.
Oh.
it is a real comic.
How
Well,
insulting.
anytime
You
someone's
punch
like
them in the face.
anytime someone's like, check out my comic, there's always that drum roll in your head, and you're like, you open it up like, oh, thank God, this is good.
Yep.
Yeah.
So before we transition into Luke and Joe again, thank you so much for joining us. Let's throw up the trailer for Starcross Team Up #1.
Wait, that looks like a real comic book.
Awesome trailer.
We always get hyped up when we watch it.
I'm
Yeah, I
gonna
like that
put
music.
Okay, so I'm gonna pull up the campaign here, and then I'll be the hands that'll navigate it. If you want to tell me where you want me to go.
Sure. Well, first off, thanks for having us here tonight. We've only got a few
thank you so
days
much.
left on this one. When it ends, it ends. We'll still have, there may be some opportunities in the future to get a copy somewhere else along the way on another campaign. But if you want any of the goodies that comes with this one, this is the time to do it. We just got 5 days left to go. Look, a real comic book. Yeah. So we actually started this project about 5 years ago, back when I was still with Starcross Comics. I wrote this. It was during a time I was trying to establish myself as a writer. I didn't have many published books out yet that I had written. That time has since gone by, and now I have quite a few. So what was fun was that even after all the changes, Joe asked, "Do you still want to do this book?" And I said, "I really want to. It's a lot of fun. I really like both characters." I felt I worked on a script that would really capture kind of this fun buddy cop kind of adventure thing with a little bit of humor, a little bit of action, a little bit of intrigue, kind of a little bit of everything, but that still kind of lent to each character's world and their timelines, while at the same time being a nice, fun, standalone kind of adventure. And so we determined that we were going to do it, but life happens, as life often does, and things just got in the way. I, started another company, started a website, took a 5-month nap. Well, the nap was only 5.5 weeks. Took a 5-month break, finally came back to things, and Joe was like, "Hey, I'm just going to draw it," because I had originally started trying to draw it. So he draws the book, and then he's like, "Hey, let's get someone to color it." And so this was done in phases over the last 5 years.
Nice.
And what's funny is rarely do you go back to something that you did so long ago and still enjoy it. And I actually, when we were going over this, and I'll let Joe talk about this more, but when we were going over it, I still liked it. I was like, I still want people to read this. I want people to get it in their hands, because I think it's that good of a book that really complements not only Joe's series but my series as well, which is now 9 issues deep. So Joe, take it from there.
Yeah, if anybody has ever bought a Hybrids book or a book from Luke, like you need this book to complete your, it's like collecting X-Men and Wolverine, but not getting any of the Weapon X storyline. You're gonna want to get this to delve deeper into Trashman's origins, where his lineage comes from, secrets that are being revealed, and then my book from God, the Global Order Decree, and that's Starstruck right there, the main
What a
character
cool
of that
looking
book.
character.
Thanks. And his deeper origins are explored alongside Luke. The good thing is, me and Luke usually we like each other's ideas. So I'll present something, he'll go, "I like that, let's do that," and then he'll present something, I'm like, "That's great, let's do that." So we don't really clash on our style of storytelling and characters. So that plays into the story. The characters really they like messing with each other. They like ribbing each other and but then fight very powerfully side by side in the story. And a new villain is introduced, and another
Two
new
new
villain of
villains.
sorts,
2 years.
Two
more than a
threats.
being. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
People not
it's
scanning
just
their
cool
stuff with
stuff.
scanners. Yeah, I'm just kidding.
It's a lot of cool powers, a lot of cool info. So you got jokes, you got action, you got buddy cop stuff, you got really interesting ancient storylines that they're
Yeah, we even
exploring.
like pulling like historical
Everything.
lore and stuff. We reference some stuff from like Old Testament,
Mhm.
and that's also found in like the Book of Enoch and things like that. So
That's the devil's book.
yeah, there's a lot of like interesting things in there. In
Yeah,
this
it's
book.
like,
to
you ever read
reference
a
lot.
comic where you're like, I really enjoyed that one. It was just deep enough. It had enough action. It was just like why I like comics. And I think this book, we have our series that we do, but this book is just like what makes comics fun, what makes people love reading comics. I think we summed it all up in one shot of this crossover.
What's really cool also with this, when you buy the physical copy of the book, you get the digital versions of #1 of each Hybrids and God, so you can be introduced. Yep. And we also have a very special reprint of God #1 and Hybrids #1 with a connected cover that's holofoil. And so
Yeah.
so we have, we want to put a lot of nice collectibles in there and some fun things in for people to check out and to take a look at. But really, we wanted to use this as an opportunity to kind of create a new way of cross promoting new properties. So, for instance, now my crowd will be introduced to God, and they could become a big fan of Starstruck, which, in my opinion, is one of the coolest looking characters in independent comics.
Oh, thank you.
I would say in all of comics, but there's a couple characters I think look really, really cool. But yeah, in independent comics, I think he's one of the coolest looking characters that's out there and doesn't get enough love. And then vice versa, his audience to be able to see ours. So even though we are no longer on the same publishing house, it just made sense to do this and to maybe inspire other people to do it. And so it's going to spark a whole thing where Trash Man does, or people from Hybrids do team ups with other people. And so we can just have some fun, exploring the characters and the characterization and, the heart of who they are. And this story, I really did try to do a lot in 22 pages as far as producing something that would really open up who the characters were for the audience.
Nice.
Well, I love it because I love you, Luke.
I love you too.
I mean, it's dope. Like,
What happened to Jason?
he had wait, the Atlanteans.
The Atlanteans got him.
No, he did mention he wasn't feeling well, so I think
He just
Yeah, I think-
commented his cuff.
Yeah.
Yes, his cuff.
Yeah, so I'm
We
going
said
through all these
ribbing, not
rewards.
rimming.
So I'm going through all these rewards. This is a nice bundle here, a team up bundle.
It is, yeah. We've got a whole lot of stuff in there. So you get the physical, you get the holofoils, you get the chibi stickers, which, by the way, Joe does all of my chibis for the Hybrids universe.
Luke colored them.
I colored them, yeah. I do a little coloring every once in a while. Then we've got that button that's very limited, and then a metal print. So fun stuff. Plus, you get all the digital stuff with it as well.
Beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you want a pint glass, we got your pint glass.
Nice.
And I know people do things for gimmick, but I actually started Starcross Comics 25 years ago based off my friends that draw comics, and we would all draw our characters together. They'd have their story, I'd have my story, and go, oh, and then they team up in these different, because I remember when I was buying comics in the early 80s and I loved team ups. I loved Spider-Man team ups, Wolverine and Ghost Rider and Spider-Man teaming. Like I wanted I wasn't getting their straight books. I was getting their team ups because I thought that was fun, or just bizarre off characters that would team up with different characters. So that was always my thing, and that's how I started Starcross Comics, was teaming up stories with my friends. So this is a long time of me, being into team ups. So it's just a natural progression to actually do publications all about team ups.
Yeah.
We love them. I think they're fun.
I mean, honestly, like I'm with you. I love team ups, and I always like every time I think of team ups, I think of go way back, Spider-Man and the Human Torch.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
One of the funnest team ups of all time. Back when comics were so much cooler, and it was like, I mean, that's like one of my favorite team up books ever. And so every time I hear team up, like it just brings you
There's
back
so many good ones.
Yeah, man.
When you talk about like Chris Claremont, like Fantastic Four and X-Men and Wolverine and Havoc, that was a big one when I first saw that. Wolverine and Punisher.
Yeah.
Yep.
They're always a great way to start with something that, because there's not a large commitment to it. It's not like, oh, well, I have to read all of this in order to be caught up. It's a great way to kind of, just to kind of get your toes wet a little bit before to decide if you want to get in or not. And I think that's really what this project is good for. Maybe you've never heard of either one of us. You've never heard of these books at all, these stories, but this would be a great way for you to jump in and just kind of get a little taste before you decide if you want to, this is tapas tapas for a world full of creative goodies that we have for you from both companies.
Nice.
I mean, obviously, Arrow is producing a lot of great stuff, like Soul Tech,
Yeah.
which you can also
Yes.
back on Fund My Comic today.
I heard a
And,
rumor that Chrome Dog is almost ready to be fulfilled.
I'm waiting on the last ad page. Yeah.
See, look
So
at
we can
that.
get that thing off to print. Yeah. We're just trying to figure out what day, when we're going to get together because of worries about weather and stuff to be able to get the fulfillment, all the packaging done. But we should have all that figured out here this weekend. Pretty exciting. And then Joe has tons of really, like, there's actually a little part in this book that's really neat. It refers to something of an interaction that Starstruck and Trashman have had in the past. But so you have to understand that this book is nestles between yeah, Sarlacc pit, yeah, it nestles between Hybrids number 5 and Hybrids number 6. Okay,
I was gonna ask.
but it's actually after Biblical Proportions number 4.
Two. Technically. Well,
Technically,
actually
but
4. Yeah, 4 if you want to.
4
Yeah.
is the whole arc, right?
Where's the whole thing? Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, but
But what they talk about happens in 2.
But Biblical Proportion number 2 is coming out next month. It's getting crowdfunded next month. So we actually refer to something that happens in issue 2 of Biblical Proportion, the past, that is actually coming out next month. So it's kind of one of those weird things. There's flashbacks and flash forwards. We don't know what's going on. We were high when we did it.
Uh-huh. Yes, I am.
That's awesome.
So
I'm joking. Joe and I don't get high.
I
I was waiting for him to be like, to correct. He was like, no, I'm just going to go with it, Luke.
yeah, right.
Whatever you say.
Just whatever, man. Just whatever. Team up, spank the monkey with choke the chicken and spank the chicken. I mean, wait, that's not what it said.
Polish the
Special
pen.
guest appearance of Polish the Perot.
I read it as Polish too, right? Because it's
Yes.
it's not Polish. Is that Polish?
Well, he capitalized it, so it automatically makes
Makes
it
it
Polish,
Polish.
not Polish.
I thought someone was going to bring up Corn Dog, our comic Corn Dog.
Yeah. So no, yeah, but no, Starcross also has a lot of really good stuff out there too. So I mean, if you go to either company, you're gonna find a store full of good stuff. So this is a great way to kind of jump in.
Man, I have a
With
song
with
about
a little,
parrot.
or not jump in, to kind of ease your way into the pool of awesome comics.
It's awesome working with people who like to cross promote and like to, world build together. A lot of people, just want their stuff to, well, I don't want anyone writing my story, or I don't, I'm sure if some awesome writer wanted to write an issue of Luke's book, he'd be like, cool.
I'm
Let's
actually
do
looking
it,
for
you know?
some.
Yeah. But other people, are like, oh no, only I can write it, or only I can draw it. And I'm like, I like guest artists, I like guest cover artists, I like guest, writers, So I've learned to be less of a control freak. I'm so much better now.
Yeah, I mean, that's the one good thing about coming into comics. I've always said is that coming out of the military was learning how to draw the strengths out of people and to just be a leader. And rather than be a tyrant who sits there and drops the hammer on everybody, and then people do the bare minimum to you to get away from you, right? That's not a way to run things. You want to inspire people to want to give you the best that they have to offer. When you have those weaknesses in your team dynamics, figuring out whose strengths can fill up those weaknesses rather than constantly going at that one person with the weaknesses until you break them and now they're no longer a part of your team, right? So
Nice.
Yeah, Spank the Monkey is one of Randy's characters over on Arrow. Speaking of drawing out of people,
it's true.
Joe drew this book, and I love his style. So it's like, it's quite different than mine, but he tries to mimic it a little bit because
Little
I
bit.
do like the first 2 pages or something. So he tries to mimic it a little bit to kind of keep the continuity with it.
And that's
And,
the thing, if you're writing someone else's character or you're drawing someone else's character, if it's indie, like I personally, and I think other people should, you want to respect their character. You want to respect their character. You don't want to draw them how you picture their character. You want to kind of lend it towards how they do it, and you want to write it. When I write, because my next campaign coming up, Biblical Proportions, has over like 40 independent characters in that book, and I want them to go, that's awesome, that's exactly how my character is, that's exactly what he would say, that's exactly how he looks or she. But I don't want them to, well, I'm gonna make your character say and look however I want it. Like, that's disrespectful. Like, the only reason they're in my book as guest characters is because I value them and I respect the creator. That's why they're in the book. So I want to make sure they go, that was great how you put them. Like, I love that, and I want that. So
it really is part of the reason why the mainstream is struggling, why the direct market is struggling. That's one of the things that a guy named Phil that wrote an article a few weeks, it was on ICV2, that actually owns the largest chain of comic book stores in the Southeast, by the name of Coliseum of Comics, or Comics Coliseum, something like that. And so he wrote that part of it is all the stuff they're doing. And we just saw what they've done with Mystique and Nightcrawler. Absolutely no respect for the character whatsoever, right? And so we see how they have just disrespected the characters, which has upset fans.
Dude, Silver Surfer.
Silver Surfer.
No respect for the process of childbirth. She's like upside down.
No respect at all. None.
The doctor's there ready to take a hut football. It's like, what is
from her
this?
from her lower back? She's, I don't know. It's just this insanity that's out there. So
Right.
So respecting each other's characters and something like this is, I think it's just so important. And I think I tried to do that. I certainly tried to do that in the writing, and Joe definitely did that in the art. And I don't know if you're waiting on this. I don't know why you're sleeping on it. You should go ahead and get it. There's no further gilding the lily is necessary. I think it's funny. You'll like it. It's entertaining.
There's so many scenes that are like, that scene was cool. That line of dialogue was cool. This what happens in this part is really cool. Oh, that was really interesting. How this flashback or this scene. And there's so many cool parts. Like, it's like your favorite movie where you're like, oh, my favorite part's coming up. Oh, my other favorite part is this part. It's like, that's like this comic. There's a bunch of great things. I get a lot of books where it's like, well, that was a wasted opportunity. You could have did this, that. We go for all the good stuff.
I'm loving the splash pages.
Dude, this book looks so cool.
Do I dare to refresh? You want
Dude, do it.
Let's see what happens.
Do it. I dare you.
Do it.
Bet you won't. Bet you won't.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it. Back it. Do it. Do it. I get it.
Dude,
16, we got a backer. Thank you.
Hey,
What's up? Woot woot.
where's the bird?
oh
We
yeah.
don't have a bird here.
No
Do
bird.
you have a bird? What do you have?
No, I don't have a bird. Just thank you so much for.
Thank you. Yes, thank you
Whoever
so
was
much for
it.
that.
Squirrel in the chimney.
Do appreciate it. Yeah. And we don't have to hit our goal in order to print this. Like, it's
We want to get the book to people.
yeah, it's done. It's been done, so it's definitely coming out.
Mm-hmm.
We would like to hit our goal. It would be nice.
Yeah, so
But,
don't think that if we don't hit the goal, well, that means it's not like, you can still back it because you will get the book.
Yep. And RJ's going to be fulfilling it, so you don't have to worry about me shipping it out.
And the book's done.
It's done.
It's
Nice.
colored. It's lettered. It's
Nice.
done.
Done.
So we'll have it in our hands relatively quickly in the new year.
Yeah. So
As soon as it gets
ends
printed?
in 5 days. The printer will have it. Waiting to hear what number I want him to print.
Mm-hmm.
And so yep. So we're just waiting on final totals for the couple of things, and then so it'll be relatively soon.
All right.
Guys,
Yep. hmm
Is there
Jack
anything?
and I've told us to wrap it up.
What's,
I'm happy to wrap it up.
yeah, I was going to ask if is there anything else you'd like to say in this
Wrap it up.
campaign before I
No
close
further,
this?
no
close
further
it down?
gilding of the lily is necessary.
Okay.
Thank you
Guys,
so
go
much for
back
having
to
us tonight.
sport.
Joe, Luke, thank you for helping us ring in December. It's going to be a fantastic holiday season. You're like family. It was great to have you here.
Can
Thanks
you
for
believe it's
having us.
December already?
It's
It
December.
is.
Today's December 1st.
What the heck?
Today
It's
is
already
December
December.
1st.
Yes.
It's crazy.
We've got the snowflake backdrop and everything.
I went to pay my mortgage and their website is down. How are you going to have your website down on the 1st?
On a Friday.
On a Friday.
They're freaking out right now. I guarantee it. As it works in a has a website,
Yeah.
you'd be freaking out right now.
That's, I was like, well, I mean, I wanted to pay you, but, all right, guys, Marvel and DC are run by mermaids. Let's get out of here.
All right. So I'd just like to say to everyone who's joining us this evening, we're up to like 10 or 12 people in the audience. Thank you so much for coming and joining us. Friday nights, we're here every Friday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. We're not going to stop. We're going to keep going as long as we can, as long as there's someone to join us. And please check out Starcrossed Team Up #1. Again, back that. Let's get that as close as we can to that funding goal with 5 days remaining. And again, Luke and Joe, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for joining us, everyone.
Thank you.
And have a great weekend.
Bye-bye.
I feel wild. I'm slobbering. I'm ready. I'm a real freak. A real creature. Buckle up, Jit. We're going for a ride in the Batmobile. Where is she? I'm feeling too crazy right now. Where is she? I need it. I need it now. I know I'm a bat, but I need that monkey. It's Monkey Monday. Bat talk. Bat chat. Grody? Grody, are you good? Grody, did you have too many perks? Bat talk. It's never been this serious. I'm feeling crazy right now. Shit is feeling crazy right now. Bat talk. It's bat talk. It's bat talk. Where is she? I'm a real creature. I could never crash out over no bitch. I buy silly shit. Yeah, I'm really having this shit. How could I be gay? My bitch is homophobic. This bat signal's not a pager. These hoes abusing it. What are you, fed? Are you fucking fed? I'm the real Two-Face. I'm crazy. I'm rigorous. Shake the city then. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. I'm gonna shake the city then. I haven't been milked in a minute. I need a release. I'm moving so crazy right now. I'm moving so crazy right now. I need a release. 4 Giottos on the Batmobile. That asshole better be breathing. I'll up the glick on anybody. I'm at Whole Foods with that Ruger. Estás mirando Bat Talk. Bat Talk. Sana, sana. Colita de rana. Chala de murcielago. I need a big bitch with normal people legs. I need a bitch with dirty feet. This lifestyle is starting to get expensive. I might need to reconsider loving on Herculean reptoid snake eggs. I'm smoking on some shit that don't even exist yet. Is that water in that cup? They better not be perks. This ain't no Molly water. I'm sipping that activist, but I don't stand for shit. It used to be $200 a pint. Now that shit $5,000. The fuck am I supposed to do? Hold up. I don't think you understand how crazy I'm feeling right now. I'm about to do something crazy. The blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. Come here, bitch. You look ripe. I need it. 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 Ferragamo bat belt. Indian ginseng got me feeling wild. The Rico just hit. Oh, the Rico just hit. Oh, I'm a dog. I'm feeling crazy. Oh, the perk hit. The perk hit. Oh, the perk hit. Beans kicking in. Beans kicking in. Oh, sana, sana. Colita de rana. Sana, sana. Colita de rana. We're only bumping peso peso in the Batmobile. I got that bat missile on me. Yeah, it's Bat Talk. I'm looking for a target. I'm cracking down on some insidious crime organization called the Butt Mugglers. I can't say much about them other than if you ever feel your ass itching. If you ever feel your ass itching more than usual, you can bet your bottom buck the Butt Mugglers are involved. $1 para un Newport? ¿Es todo lo que cuestan estos días? ¿Valió la pena de tu vida? ¿Ah? ¿Está muerto? ¿De veras que eres mota? ¿Valió la pena de tu vida? Soy Batman. Te voy a chingar tu vida. Me están haciendo experimentos. Destroy Lonely. Ken Carson.